Hi, how are you doing? How's your day? How have you been? How's life? How are you? Today we're gonna talk about anxiety and depression. I feel like at this point these topics are becoming like tired topics because everywhere you go you meet people who have anxiety and depression. Everywhere you go people are talking about anxiety and depression. Almost everybody Gen Z going down talk about anxiety and depression, and I think it just speaks to the fact that we are in a generation where we just don't feel enough. And there are different reasons for that. There are different things which have led to people being in those positions. Trauma, there's just so much which I think has gone into this particular generation falling into the hands of depression and anxiety. And while others wear it as a badge, others are really ashamed to talk about it and admit that they are actually struggling. And I think there are different levels of anxiety, there are different levels of depression, but I want to speak to the level where it's no longer a thought, it's no longer a question of whether you have anxiety or depression. It's not just an internal understanding that you do have it. You have met anxiety and depression. And what I mean by that is not everybody will understand what I'm talking about, but for those who do, you know that depression and anxiety reaches a point where you don't only know or feel that you might have depression or anxiety. You meet depression and anxiety. And I mean just how you feel like wind come into the room and then oh, there's a breeze. You feel the presence of depression or anxiety come into the room and sit with you. It's almost like this blanket or this heavy coat or this being that you can't see but can feel wraps itself around you. And when you have those moments where you can't breathe and you're hyperventilating and everything, it's not like it's just a whimsical experience. You can actually feel something holding onto your throat, holding onto your passage, like your air passage. You can actually feel the weight of depression. And I think that's such a lonely place to be. It's a scary place to be. It's a horrible place to be. I don't have the words to say or to make anybody who's at that point in their life feel better, because quite frankly, when you're there, words don't really help at that point. You need some form of external force to lift you out of that. It's rare that you can actually lift yourself out of that when it reaches that point. At that point, even medication, honestly, doesn't really help you. Like, it can maybe help you sleep or maybe help kind of relax your nerves and stuff like that. But if anything, it just traps you in a dimension that you can't escape actually meeting this depression. Because when you sleep, it doesn't end. It continues. It haunts you, it torments you, it antagonizes you, and now you meet the form of the weight you were feeling. And honestly, it's such a an isolating place to be, because even if you explained it to somebody, if they haven't met or experienced that degree of anxiety, that degree of depression, it's almost impossible for them to comprehend just how far gone you are. And there are so many triggers for this. It can be, extreme stress, it can be trauma from lived experiences, it can be from abuse, it can be from sickness which has taken its toll on you to a point where you feel it would be better not to be here than to keep suffering. And we will talk about like terminal illnesses at some point. It could be from broken trust and let down, because when your trust is broken by somebody or a set of people who you never thought could hurt you in that way, could betray you in that way, could expose you in that way, could harm you in that way, it's not just a shock to your mental faculties, it's a strike to the heart, it's a strike to the soul, it's a strike to your spirit. It's a kind of breaking that honestly it's so deep, not as in so deep, but it's so deep, where when you begin to heal from that, it's not only heartbreak, because heartbreak is not just like about romantic relationships. There are so many things which can really break your heart, and that's sometimes when you have put your trust in people and they let you down in a way that you never thought they would. And the very things you told them other people did to you, the very things you told them you had to heal from, are the very things they use as ammunition to bring you down. That kind of betrayal can trigger that extent of depression and anxiety, because you feel like, really, what is there to life? What is there to relationships? What's there to companionship if when somebody knew what happened to you, they use that, right? So I just want to speak to that set of people and just tell you that you are seen, you are understood, and I'm not here to tell you get up out of that. It doesn't work that way. But I would suggest that you don't let it win. I think the most sad thing would be to let that thing win after it's tormented you and me for so long. So my fight is just to ensure that it doesn't win, because it's had its fun and it's about time we start to fight back. And the fight doesn't have to be, so loud. It's just taking one day at a time and making sure that we put in the work to be better, to begin to heal, to begin to see the world a little bit differently. Because that level of depression comes from the fact that it's warranted. There's real reason behind it. So yeah, talk to you later. Bye.